Alright, here I wanted to talk about factoring by grouping. So the grouping method is a method that is used when you have four polynomial terms. Essentially what we're doing is we are using the ideas behind greatest common factor in order to reduce four terms down to factored pieces. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to group your terms. So in grouping them, what that means is that we are going to look just specifically at the first two terms together, and we're going to look at them separately from the back two terms. So when you look at, say, your front two terms, you have to factor out the greatest common factor for that particular set of terms. When you factor it out, you're going to leave behind a binomial term. Now your goal is that when you factor a greatest common factor out of the back two terms, that the binomial term left behind is going to be the same as what you got the first time. If that comes out to be something totally different, then it means one of two things. Either one, we've made a mistake, most likely with your sign, or two, the polynomial actually is not capable of being factored by grouping, which would probably mean that that polynomial is not capable of being factored at all. So, what do I mean? I've got a couple examples here that hopefully will help to explain what this actually means. So let's take a look at this first example. In looking at the first example, when I have to group my terms together, what I'm talking about is I have these first two terms that I'm going to look at, and then I have these back two terms that I'm going to look at. And in each one, I'm going to end up with a GCF. So if I look at just 3x and 3y, clearly you can see that the common GCF between these is the 3. So I'm going to pull that 3 out. And what gets left behind is that x plus y piece. Now my hope is that when I find my GCF for my back term here, I'm left with this same binomial piece. So this part is the part that is the most important. So when we look at this back piece, I have ax plus ay. So I need to pull the a out. Since I'm pulling it out as a positive, this is going to be plus a, and then what gets left behind is x plus y. Now again, what you should notice is that I have the x plus y and I have the x plus y. So therefore, since these are the same, it means that this one and this one are also now a greatest common factor. In other words, what we're doing is you have to pull out the factor. So if we pull out that factor, it means the first factor we have is the x plus y. And then what's left is I have this 3 on the outside and I have this plus a. So basically I have my leftovers, 3 plus a. And that's all there is to it. So this right here would be my factors using the grouping method. Let's look at it again. So here again I've got my front factor, and then I've got my back factor. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front. I have a 5xy and I have a plus yw. So the only thing that is common here in this first term is the y. So I'm going to pull that y out, and when I do, it leaves behind a 5x plus w. So again, I'm hoping to get a 5x plus w on my second group when I pull that one out. So here I've got this negative, and since we're treating this like a whole separate grouping because it's a negative out in front here, we're going to pull that negative out. So this is going to come out. So now I've got 20x minus 4w. So between 20 and 4, my common factor there would be the 4. So I'm going to pull that out. When I pull a negative 4 out, this is going to leave behind a positive 5x. If I pull a negative 4 out, it leaves behind a positive w. So again, notice I have a 5x plus w and a 5x plus w. So again, the rule then says that this now is going to be my new greatest common factor. So I need to pull it out. So this becomes 5x plus w. And then I have to look at what's left. And what's left here is going to be the y and the minus 4. So write down what's next, and you're good. So there are 2 examples of doing greatest common factors. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you next time.